Before I get into all that I have to say for a peace of my mind, I want you to have a listen to these comments from His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama on issues to do with galamsey.
Very hard. We've seized excavators, we've seized champagne machines, and you drive them out of this area, they run to this other area, but we're making progress. Of the almost 49 forest reserves that were invaded, we've been able to clear as many of them as possible of illegal miners. Before, what we did was when we clear, we hand over to the Forestry Services Commission. But they don't fear the Forest Service. They go and drive the forest guards out and they go back into the mine. And so now we put a military detachment. After we clear the forest reserve, we leave a military detachment there. And that means we have to spend more money. One, you must feed the soldiers. You must provide them with the logistics to continue to stay there in the forest. But we will not give up. We'll continue the fight against illegal mining. But Upper East has a good potential, and mining can create jobs. But we need to make sure that these are formalized mines so that they can employ our young people to operate.
That was His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama speaking in the north, or as part of a 2 or 3 day tour, I'm told, to the Upper East region. There were a number of key things that President Mahama said there, and I'm sure for those of you who pay attention to the news space, you'd have been following all of these conversations yesterday. The President talks about responsible mining and the fact that we have minerals in the soil, or God has blessed us with the minerals, doesn't mean that we should do it the wrong way. The most important thing is that mining is legal, can be done legally, and can be done the right way. That I am sure a lot of people would agree, that mining can be done the right way. I mean, since I was a child, I've heard of mining being done in the right way in so many parts of this country. I've heard of Obuasi, I heard of Konongo years ago, I heard of Odan years ago, I heard of so many other parts of this country, Akwetia and all of these places where a bit of mining was done in one way or the other. Your Excellency, Mr. President, our challenge at this point, which you clearly make mention of, the fact that it appears that we are struggling to deal with it, and that if we put in the military there, that would come at a cost. Mr. President, with the greatest of respect, I would disagree with you on that tangent. One life is more important than the investment we would make in fighting galamsey. If we look at it that way, we would spare no expense in dealing with the galamsey fight. With the greatest of respect, Mr. President, the military are there for a reason. The Navy are there for a reason. The Air Force are there for a reason. There is nobody, absolutely nobody, or no group in this country where if all of these three forces come together to deal with the threat of galamsey, there is no one in this country who can stand their might. If the military step out there on the orders of the CDS to these galamsey infested areas and they are allowed to do their jobs without any political interference, trust me, this can be done in 1 week, like some of your appointees said when you were in opposition. If the Navy officials who are supposed to man our water bodies are sent to their spaces, and it's not just a case of manning, they have equipment to deal with that as well. If they end up being the people who are directly responsible for manning our water bodies, Mr. President, I don't know of any group that can manage them. If our Air Force, with whatever materials that are being available, whether it's planes proper or whether it is planes, helicopters or whatever that they would use in that fight, there is no one who can deal with their threats. There's no one who can face them. Absolutely no one or no group of people. I was thinking that we would rather look at this situation as something that is causing a lot more harm, and that as a country, we would spare no expense. We would spare absolutely no expense in dealing with it. If the worry is about, taking a lot of military people there and it's going to come at a cost and all of that, then we might as well not do anything, because everything that we are doing is coming at a cost. Everything that we're doing as far as this fighting this galamsey thing is happening is coming at a cost. We are dying, Your Excellency. People are contracting all kinds of ailments. Now look at this scenario. We've committed a lot of money to Mahama Care to deal with all of these communicable diseases. Those monies would end up being used to deal with all of these people who are contracting this liver and kidney problems. But you know what we could have done with that money? We could have used that money to build schools. We could have used that money to build the roads. We could have used that money to provide portable drinking water. There are people in Accra who have not seen water in 1 year. Good morning to my people at Lejukuku and Krowo and so many other parts of Accra who do not have access to portable drinking water. The doctors are telling us that people are being born with all kinds of ailments, and we are worried about spending money to deal with the threat, or we are worried about putting the military there to go and deal with that threat. So we should allow the galamseyers to do whatever they want. They should pollute our rivers. They should contaminate our food. How do we live with eating contaminated food and water? How?